want to wait till some people join here. Make sure everybody can hear me. It looks like this chat has changed a little bit. If you're here, can you type something in the chat for me and then just tell me if you can hear me okay? Hey Dan, how are you? Good morning. Good. I see a chat. Can you hear me all right? Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Okay, cool. All right, well, people are starting to join. So I've been away for a bit, and I just thought, as much as I know these live streams hurt analytics, I thought I kind of owed everybody an explanation, and so I'm going to do that. And it's kind of hard to talk about. I don't know if I should have done this today or not, but I lost my dad on February 4th. And it's been a rough ride. Man, this is going to be hard to get through. My point is, I'm going to get back to content here as soon as I can. Let me see if I have this chat up right. It just looks different to me. Yeah, thank you everybody for your support. Everybody that's here. Yeah, it sucks, man. It's been hard. And as you can imagine, I have, little or no desire to be in front of a camera. I mean, it's been really difficult. And I have other stuff I have to get done. I mean, I create content for other channels, and I've been sort of at a standstill with everything, because it's hard to be creative and to even work or do anything when you're just not in the right frame of mind. And this last year has really sucked. I'm just going to be honest. There's a lot of good things that have happened, and but there's been a lot more bad things that have happened in the last year. And I don't really talk about that stuff very much because, I try to keep everything upbeat and positive, but it's been tough. I mean, my day job, my business has been crushed since last March with COVID. That's a business I've owned for 16 years. I mean, it's been bad. I really don't want to go into all of it, but I'm going to just tell you really quick, everything that's transpired. And so if you know why I've had sort of an inconsistency with content, especially lately, you'll know why. But my day job was crushed. I lost pretty much all my retirement money in March of last year when the market crashed. Then I lost my grandmother, my stepmother, and my dad last week. So it's been a rough ride. And I want to get back to normal as soon as I can. But it's going to be maybe a few more days. Every day's gotten a little bit better for me, but just haven't been able to do much, as you can imagine. Just little stuff, little things I need to get done, I get done. But outside of that, it's been tough to take care of much. So the snow's been keeping me busy. I've been shoveling a lot over here, the driveway, the backyard, because I got to keep my patio clean for any videos that I decide I might want to make, where all the cookers are and everything. But outside of that, just spending time with my wife and kids, and as much as I can. Sometimes I just want to be alone. Um, but I'm doing my best, and I hope to get back to some kind of a normal life here real soon. Maybe this coming week. One thing I think I have decided through all this, though, is that I think I am going to go for it, and I'm going to go for this video thing full time. I want it to be my full-time job. And I think this is a good time for me with everything that's happened. I'm in a point where I just feel like I should just jump in and go for it and stop being scared. And I think I'm going to do that. So I don't know that that's going to mean you're going to see a whole lot more content from me right off the bat, but I kind of think it depends on a few things. But it's a decision that I've pretty much made, and I'm gonna do it. Thank you, everybody in the comments. I really appreciate all the support. I mean, there's so many people that have written stuff here, and I'm sorry I haven't addressed all of them, but yeah, I really do appreciate all the support. I mean, I don't want to talk about it much because it's hard, but I mean, I've had hundreds and hundreds of text messages and uh, messages through social media and things showing up to the house, and it's been uh, it's been very comforting, but it's hard to it's hard to deal with that stuff too when you see it, because it just chokes me up. But I mean, I'd rather have it than not have it, I guess, is my point. But yeah, it's been tough. Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate it. So sorry that it's hard for me to talk and discuss this stuff, but I at least wanted to come out and say hi to everybody and let you know what's going on, because I made posts on social media, but I know a lot of people don't follow all that. I did put just something up on the channel, but I didn't do a video with it. So, only so many people see those word posts. And I'm sure there were some people that were probably pretty upset that I haven't been around. But it's very hard because, the content creation, I think you have to feel inspiration, you have to feel a certain way. And it was hard for me I'm not a good actor, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I have to really be genuinely feeling good in order to do it. And I just haven't been. So I'm just kind of waiting until I feel a little bit better. So hopefully it'll be real soon. I mean, there's things I need to get done, believe me, in terms of content creation. So I do hope that I do hope that I'm able to do it this coming week. Thank you, everybody. Again, I just see the stuff in the chat. I appreciate it. And man, another thing that's kind of been crappy is our weather has been so bad. Like it's freezing cold. I think it's literally like 15 degrees below zero air temperature outside right now. So I don't think I'd have been doing a lot of outdoor filming anyway in the last week, but I did have things planned, and obviously I wasn't going to get it done with everything that's happened, but maybe sooner than later. I think it's going to be about another week of cold weather, and then things will start to sort of turn around, and I hope they keep heading that way, because it's hard to it's hard to not be able to go outside, and just enjoy the outdoors and do stuff that you like to do and just get away from these walls. Um, especially if you're not the right frame of mind, you just want to get out of the house. You don't want to sit in the house, but there's not much you could do. There's so much limitations nowadays I mean, right now I'm dealing with the weather and I'm dealing with, um, you can't go places, because of, the virus. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to, you know, get healthy mentally when you're stuck in the house. And thank you all again in the comments. I appreciate it. All the support. There's a lot of people that already know, and there's probably a lot more that don't, but it's just been a rough ride. um, all right. Well, I don't know. What else should we talk about? I've got a little bit of time if you guys want to hang out here. I have a little bit of time before I don't know what I'm going to do, hang out with my son, I guess. But I just thought I should come out and talk for a little bit. And I don't even know if I'm going to leave this video up. I'll probably take it down as soon as I'm done. So whoever joins, and whoever doesn't, they'll just have to, hear about this stuff on another video or something like that. But yeah, weather's been bad here, and I hear it's bad all across the country now. I think I heard Russ from Smoky Ribs, he had a live chat last night, and I think he said that they're supposed to get some bad weather there. And Justin from Baby Back Maniac texted me last night and said they might get a few inches of snow down there in North Texas. So just strange, right? I mean, normally you don't see that stuff there. Here, it's just been miserably cold, and it seems like it snows almost every day, just enough to where I've got to get the shovel out and go out in that cold weather. And it's kind of given me something to do, but it's only enjoyable for a few minutes until you get really cold. Yesterday, it was actually so cold that, I mean, my hands were cold through my gloves. So it was cold. Draven's getting ready to go plow. Yeah, it seems like there's just cold, nasty weather across the whole country right now. So again, that's also influenced, I think, even had I not, gone through all this in the last couple of weeks, I think, I don't know how much filming I'd have done anyway, because it's even hard I have my Blackstone on the porch, but the wind blows through. I mean, I live in an area where it's just, when it's cold and windy, I mean, there's really no escaping it unless you're in the house. So it's it's not a lot of fun to film, even if I'm on the back porch. I have a roof there, but it's screened in and the wind just comes right through. So it's really hard to do that. And the camera equipment doesn't like, those temperatures either. Matter of fact, the last video I did was for, what was it for? The last outdoor video I did was for S&S Grills, and it was about 20 degrees maybe, and it was snowing a little bit, and that was pretty hard to deal with. But I mean, now it's like 15 below air temperature, and we have wind chill temperature warnings of like 35 below today and tomorrow. Yeah, I could see everybody's got cold and snow everywhere. Like I said, even down in Texas, they're talking about it, but just cold weather, really weird. And it seems like the weather's a month behind this year too. Usually this really cold air comes in January, but we're getting it in February this year. And I hope that doesn't mean that, spring and summer are going to be a month late, because that would kind of suck. $11 in northern Michigan, 6 to 10 inches coming for Dustin. 13 degrees, negative 13 Celsius right now. Wow. Still barbecuing. Yeah, there you go, Chris. You guys might all remember that I did a video, I think it was 2 winters ago. We had record breaking cold here. It was like 30 below or 35 below air temperature and 65 below with the wind chill. And I did a video out there, and it was real stupid because I got sick, so sick afterwards. I was sick for like 2 months, and I was sick before that, but then I got a little better, and then I went and did that video, which was stupid, and I got real sick for like a month or 2 months. Let's see here. Southwest part of Chicago. Yeah, not a place to be right now, Troy. 100% right. Draven, my favorite cooker, man. It's such a hard question to answer because they all have their strengths, and I love pellet cookers because they're easy, but I prefer the flavor of coals and wood, but it's more work. So I think it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. When it comes to burgers, I really love big, fat, juicy smoked burgers, but smash burgers are really hard to beat, like on any flat top griddle. So it really depends on the mood that I'm in. But I think if I had to have like a one-stop shop, um, it would either be a pellet cooker like the Camp Chef, with the sear box attachment, because I love to have that sear, that char flavor. Or it would be like a kettle with a slow and sear, or the slow and sear kettle, even, a Weber kettle with the slow and sear, or the slow and sear kettle, because I think they have the most versatility. The only problem with those is the limit on space, unless you use the added on shelves and not shelves, but the elevated grate and stuff like that. But even so, it's not quite as same amount of space as you'd get on like a pellet cooker or something larger. And of course, my Lone Star, I love my Lone Star. I mean, that's like I don't even know what you'd call it. It's just my favorite cooker out there. I mean, when I'm talking about just nice, doing some good barbecue and just enjoying the outside, and I just love that thing. I mean, it's a tank. So I have a few, but I think if I had to only have one, if I only had space for one, it would either be like a pellet grill with a sear box, like a Camp Chef, or it would be a kettle with a slow and sear. I think would be out of the stuff I've used anyway. Chris, the Smoke Fire, man, as far as I know, they have this new thing called Gen 2 now, which I think is just that they're giving you a couple of things that you need to make it a little bit more safe than it was. But as far as what it is and the design, it hasn't changed. So it's just terminology and marketing to try to get people to buy it. In my opinion, it's still a piece of junk. And I think on top of that, it's a fire hazard, and I wouldn't spend $1 on it. Having open flames, which is what they have, you're always going to have, potential for grease fires. So unless they can come up with a design, which I really thought they did, I hate to get into this subject because I get so much hate for it, but I really thought if anyone could do it, it would be Weber, and it just wasn't the case. It's a dangerous cooker, and unless you're going to cook with pans where the grease stays inside the pan and you're not going to let it drip down, but then there goes all your searing capability that made that cooker so unique. But if you're going to do that, fine. I think it's fine. But even those, they say, were impossible to have flame outs and backburns, and that's BS because they're all over the internet, where they've had flame outs and backburns and cookers on fire. So it's just it's more dangerous than any other pellet cooker, in my opinion. I'd stay away from it. Look at Camp Chef, look at RecTech if you're going to buy one. All right, let's see here. I'm probably going to miss some of these, but spring can't get here soon enough, man. That's right. Yeah, I know Harry Sue and Trendkill use it all the time, and I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't want to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just not. There's reasons for that stuff, and it's for people to figure out, not for me to talk about. So that's where I'm going to leave that. what you saw from me and what you saw from Justin, that was real honest review, actual stuff that happened on like First Cook Grease Fire, you know. So uh, and for most people that use it the way they say you could use it, that's what's going to happen. Not to mention the pellet feed and the ramp, and I mean it is what it is, man. You know, everybody can make up their own mind. I really honestly, when it comes to review videos, and this has sort of been a, you know, a big deal for me, is I don't want to be a company basher. And I've said this before, but if you haven't heard it, I'll say it again. I don't want to be a company basher. So if somebody reaches out to me about a review for a cooker, I tell them flat out that I'll do it, but if it's not good, I'm not putting it on my channel. I need to test it privately. If it's good, I'll be happy to do it. Sometimes I get a fee for it, sometimes I don't. It's just the nature of how it works. It's a lot of work to put together a video, but if it's junk, I'm not going to tell people that it's good. And if it's really bad, I'm not going to put it on my channel because I just don't want to do that. So 99% of the time, if you see it on my channel, that means it's passed the sniff test. But that one was so dangerous that I thought, I hate to put out a negative video, but I have to, because I have to tell people how dangerous this is. You know, if they go into it trusting it just because it says Weber on it, like I did, you know, and I've owned Webers forever and they were all pretty good. Uh, Plus they're a local company for me, you know, in the Chicago area. So I really wanted it to be what it was supposed to be, and it just wasn't. All right. John, I have not looked into their pellet cooker. I know it's coming out, and I'm sure that we can probably trust that it's going to be a tank and it's going to be a really good cooker. But like anything else, I'd want to use one before I tell anyone to buy it. You know, I mean, and I love Chris. He's been great. When my dad passed away last week, he was one of the first people that emailed me. You know, I mean, he's been like family to me. If you want to talk about a great company with really good people that do business, you know, the old fashioned way, which, you know, without teleprompts and all that stuff. I mean, Lone Star Grills, they're a great company. They're like a big family. They treat creators like family. They make outstanding products, and they're just really good people. I feel so fortunate to be working with them on any level. I'm, you know, very lucky to be working with them. And I know Chris would probably say he's lucky to work with me and other creators, but we feel very lucky to work with him. He's just that good of a guy. Okay, I'll try to keep caught up here. Not that the chat's going too crazy, but I'm not reading it too much, to be honest. I'm just looking at some of the stuff. But I appreciate everybody's support, you know, through everything that you know, that I've been through. So I do appreciate it. I'm sorry about my absence, but it's hard for me to create when I'm just not in the right headset. So um, yeah, Sean, I'm gonna do that again this year, and you know, I'll probably do that video. It's funny. I started my channel with just shooting with the iPhone. I didn't have any lights. I didn't have any mics. I didn't have like the good cameras that I have now. And some of those videos still get hits. They do really well. And then a lot of the new stuff I do, it's like some of them do well and some don't. It's really weird. But the videos that I did, the overnight brisket, and I think even my Lone Star review video, well, there was, I think, two videos I did with the Lone Star that were like done with my iPhone, you know, just outside, just done with the iPhone, real easy setup, and they did really well. And so I kind of intend to do that same thing again this year with, I'll try to do an all-nighter again with my son and my neighbor, and we'll see how it goes, if those guys hang out with me or not. My son fell asleep last time around 3 o'clock, which if you watch that video, you know, you'll see it was just me making it through the night. My neighbor Kevin, who by the way owns this company, he's a really good friend of mine. They do shirts and hats and all kinds of stuff, and he always brings shirts and stuff over here for me and hats. But anyway, Um, he only made it till about maybe midnight, and then he went home. And then my son and I were kind of in and out of the house. I could see my son was really tired, and it was so hot that night too. Like, I'm trying to remember, I think it was in July, but it was so hot outside. Like, it was 90 something degrees at midnight. I mean, it was humid, it was hot, and I was sitting next to that pit. So it was uncomfortable. And we kept going inside to cool off, and sit on the couch. And I knew I'd have to feed the Lone Star a log every 45 minutes to an hour. And at some point, my son just looked at me and said, "Is it all right if I go to sleep?" And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I just used my phone and finished up everything from like a first person, perspective of the video. And yeah, anyway, it was a fun video to do, and I will do more of those this summer. I hope to do as many as I can. Like I said, I've kind of made up my mind that I'm going to give this video thing a shot, try to go full time with it. If I can support my family with it, then I'm going to just do this full time and create content for my channel and other channels like I have been. It's a time for me now where I just feel like I feel inspired to do it. So, hopefully that'll mean more content. We're going to see. Draven, a cookbook. I've thought about it, Draven. I just don't think I have enough street cred, man, to do a cookbook or anything like that yet. I mean, at some point I would love to, because I like to I like to share my ideas, and for the most part I've done that on video. But I just I haven't thought about it as something I want to do right now, but it maybe at some point I will. Let me look here. All my cookers are covered in snow too, Brian. I have to dust those off and shovel the porch or the patio every time it snows, and it plus my driveway, so it kind of sucks, but I have to keep it that way. Otherwise, when I want to film, I can't. Okay. There was something here I wanted to. Okay, the all-nighter brisket. If I ever went back to charcoal, I get the S&S over Weber. It seems to be built better. It's built really well, and it's got a lot of innovative features. The Pro Port, and the way the lid is designed, it holds smoke much better. The smoke hole underneath, which is a really good way to fine tune your lower vent setting. Like, if you're doing a low and slow, it works so much better than the lower vent. And I just love using it. Seems like it runs more efficient that way too, but I haven't used it enough to really make that claim yet. But it's just really cool for fine tuning your temperatures. I know that's one thing for sure. So there's a ton of innovation with it, and I think it's worth the extra money, if you ask me. And Dune Buggy made my queso for the Super Bowl. Added leftover rib meat. Man, that sounds good. And you can do that queso without any meat if you want. I thought about doing it that way for the Super Bowl here, but then we didn't. It was not a good time. I didn't really cook. We ordered a pizza, and I had my brother over, and that was about it. I wasn't in the mood, and I'm still not to go out and do any kind of big cooks. Plus, like I said, it's so cold outside right now. Okay. I think I'm caught up on comments. So anything else anybody wants to ask or talk about while I'm here? I've got a little bit more time. Hey, if you haven't yet, start supporting me. Click that like button. Anything you can do to help me out. I'm gonna try to go full time here with this. And anything you can do, I mean, that's free. It doesn't cost a dime. Just click that like button if you're here. I'd really appreciate it. Oh, Kevin's here now. My neighbor's here. I don't know. Did you make it to one, man? I don't know if you made it to one or not. I guess you may have. I don't remember. I was tired AF. But it was hot that night, right? So tell everybody, Kevin's in the chat. Kevin, how hot was it that night, man? You and I and Anthony sitting outside, and we were like right next to the Lone Star. We were drinking. What were we drinking? Uh, those low carb drinks, right? And man, it was so cold. It was so cold. It was so hot outside that night. It just we just couldn't bear it. And actually, I think you had something to do the next day. Otherwise, I think you probably would have hung outside with us longer. But it's been a while, so I don't remember. I mean, we're going back since back to July. But yeah, it was like the devil's backside. Yeah, it was cold. It was so cold. But yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think you did make it, or you did make it to about one. Because I was kind of like, man, because usually when we sit outside and we have a little fire, but you don't usually make it to 1 o'clock. It's usually about 11:30, or even earlier you go in. So you did stretch it a little bit that night, and it was fun to hang out. It was a fun cook. We have to do that again this year. I think we'll do it again. Maybe it'll be safe to have some more people here, and we'll do another all-nighter. Honestly, it was probably 11. I don't remember. I just remember catching you on video for that brief second and putting you in my video. All right, so from Southside Chicago, electric roaster to make pork pie, which is also good. Interesting, man. Air fryer stuff, I've only done like chicken, like breaded chicken, and I don't know if we've done anything else in there. Maybe like frozen onion rings and stuff like that. I've just never been a big air fryer guy, but I know that they are healthier than deep frying stuff, and I have one here that we use. Smoking Joe, thanks for being here, and everybody else too. I haven't addressed everybody that's chatted because the first part of this was really hard for me to get through. Just letting everybody know why I haven't been around, and I thought I should do this today. Come out and and just tell everyone it's been a rough go, but I'm trying to get my head back together here, and I'll be back to video making hopefully this week. Is my hope. I have the time. I just haven't been in the right frame of mind, and it's really hard. I thought I'd be able to do this live, real easily, and then when I got in front of the camera here and turned it on, I had the first 5 minutes were a little rough. So I'm not leaving this up. Put it that way. Whoever's here is here, and whoever doesn't see it won't see it until I release a video. Dustin, take care, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. SNS is fantastic. Yeah, I really do love their stuff. I mean, that's why I work with them. I love their products, and and here we go again. Like with everything that happened in the last week when my dad passed, David was right there for me. He sent flowers to the house and sent emails back and forth with me for support, and I just couldn't ask for better people in my life, and those are things I'm going to remember. I also want to thank, since I'm at it, I want to thank Justin from Baby Back Maniac. He sent some stuff to the house. He's been texting me, checking on me, very supportive. One of my best friends, that I met through YouTube, right? One of the best friends I have and will ever have. And Greg from Ballistic Barbecue also sent some stuff to the house here. He's been checking on me and texting and stuff, and just been a great, great friend. I truly love those guys. They've just been so good to me in so many ways. But there's times in your life when things happen, and you can just see who your friends are, and those guys are friends for life for me. So, and another friend of mine, if he's probably not watching this, but Joe Barriconi sent some stuff to the house here, and there's too many people. My dad was such a loved man that I've gotten hundreds and hundreds of messages and just any kind of communication that you can think of, from social media, text messaging, Facebook Messenger. Like, it's been overwhelming, and I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Ted. Mike, appreciate it. Um, like I told everyone, if you haven't, if you just joined, I've been away, and I'm planning on maybe doing some stuff this coming week, but I just haven't been in the right frame of mind. It's been a rough go the last year. There's a lot that's happened, and this losing my dad was the worst thing that's ever happened. So it uh, took me a few days just to even not want to be totally alone. Just everybody deals with that stuff differently, and for me, you know, I guess you never know how you're going to deal with it until you have to. Yeah, the restaurant reviews. I wanted to get into that. As a matter of fact, I have a couple videos that I did and I never put out. Right before the pandemic hit, because I thought they were sort of inappropriate for, you know, if I were to show that I was out, people wouldn't think about when I filmed it. They would think about when I launched it, and so I didn't. But I did it was the Kentucky Fried Chicken donut sandwich or whatever. That was kind of interesting. And I think I did put that out like on my Facebook, but I didn't put it on YouTube because the Facebook's a lot smaller. It's a couple thousand people there. And then I did this restaurant up in Wisconsin Dells, which is about an hour and 45-minute ride from us, called Moose Jaw Pizza. And holy cow, man, they have some just outstanding pizza and burgers and everything. And I did a sit-in review there, and that's a video that I'll put out at some point. I'm thinking of starting another channel for that stuff because it's weird how the YouTube algorithm works. Um, like if you put out content that's not typically like your other content, it sort of doesn't show anyone that you put the video out. So I may just start a whole nother channel for that. Chris, I have not seen that channel, and it doesn't mean that I think I'm any better than anybody else. Uh, I just don't always run across all that stuff. And to be honest, I watch a lot of my friends' channels, but I don't watch a lot of other channels, and it's weird. I don't know why. I don't know why it is, but it just is what it is. Joe, I'm sorry about that. I know it's hard, man. I'm going through it right now. So the last 2 or 3 days, I've been so up and down, with it just mentally. It's so hard. Like, you think you're getting better, and okay, good, this was a good day, and then the next day comes and you're just, you know, just want to lay in bed all day, or it's really hard, you know. It's really, really hard. Let's see, Dave. I'm sorry, I must have missed something that you said here, but I apologize if I didn't address everything. Midlothian, hog wild. Signature items: a grilled pork chop. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, when I'm able to mosey around again. So Midlothian's a bit of a cruise for me. I'm up in like north central Illinois, I guess. I'm north of Belvedere, and I'm about just a few miles south of the Wisconsin border. But I'm from the suburbs. I grew up in a little town called Melrose Park. So, I'm familiar with, I think Midlothian's like a south suburb, if I remember correctly. And Ted, he's in Loves Park. Wow, that's close, man. Um, oh wow, best. Oh, Troy says it too. I'm gonna have to try that, man. Pork chops are something that I like. I don't know why the rest of the people in my house aren't pork chop fans, so I don't make them very often. But my grandpa used to make some really good pork chops, and all he did was he would just cover them in Lawry's seasoned salt and just grill them at a high temperature. And he'd always overcook them. I won't lie. But I think back then they had a big deal like cooking pork chops to 180 degrees and stuff. This was back when I was just a kid, so you're going back a long time. Um, but yeah, I do the same thing. I do when I cook pork chops. I do the same thing that my grandpa did. I cover it in Lawry's and I grill them up, but I pull them around 135, 138, and they're so good, man. But for some reason, my kids don't. You know, my kids like tenderloin, which is very similar. Obviously, it's a little different, but they love when I do tenderloin, and I'll do it like with as a matter of fact, Saucy Bottom barbecue. I'll use his barbecue rub, and the last one I did, I took two of his rubs. I did the barbecue and the chop dust, and I did a little layer of both, and it turned out so good because the chop dust is a little bit saltier than the barbecue rub, so the barbecue rub, if you want something really salty, you've got to add a little bit, and those two combined were just freaking amazing. I'm gonna have to try that though, Hog Wild. There's a whole bunch of places I want to go to, but it's hard right now to go anywhere. I mean, if you're really worried about the pandemic and stuff, even a long car ride is like out of the question, because people in the car have to stop for a potty break or whatever, and you don't know what you're gonna run into. I'll scroll back through the comments here and see if there's anything else. Really hasn't been a lot of comments on this one. I think I got everything here. Anything else from anyone? This is kind of therapeutic for me being here, so I appreciate it. It's gotten a little better for me as this has gone on. I think I'm at 42 minutes. I'll probably go to an hour, unless you guys are done with me, then I can go now. That's up to you. But I think I got through most of these and I answered most of the stuff. But if anybody else has anything else, go ahead. And hey, for whoever's here, I do a really bad job of promoting it, but I did put a website up. I have a friend of mine did it. It's everydaybbq.net, and I need to promote it more because I pay for it every month, and I really don't tell anyone about it, so nobody ever goes there. But there's merch there, and there's places you can donate and everything like that to the channel. Which, like I said, I'm going to be trying to do this thing full time. So, just go check the site out, and if you have any feedback for me, you can email me through the site, and you can let me know what you think. I haven't maintained it for the last couple months because of everything that's been going on. Like my mind just hasn't been there. I didn't share it with everybody, everything that was going on. I didn't come out here and talk about it much at all. I didn't really do it at all. But I just didn't keep up on some things because my mind wasn't really engaged with that. So I hope to get back on the road with that too here. Okay. Madwood, how you doing, man? Cape Town, South Africa. Wow. Frederick, thanks for being here. You're a long ways away. What time is it there? Uncle Bill from BNNS Radio, thank you for being here, sir. And Mel, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a rough go, man. It's been a rough go. It's weird because, all my life, it's always been this way. And you can ask my wife because her and I've been together since I was 15. But I'm always the guy that, like, when other people have a problem or a situation, they call me and they want me to tell them how they should deal with it. I'm the advice giver. I don't know how I got to be that way, but people for some reason trust my opinion with a lot of stuff. And I've always been at least I'd say in the last 10 years, I went through a rough time before that, and I read some books and I got my mind right. And I've always been the more positive person, glass half full type thing. And And here lately in this last year, it's been really hard for me. So, when people call and say, how are things going? I don't always have a lot of, I didn't always have a lot of good things to say. There's obviously good things going on in my life, but there was things I was hiding from everyone because I don't want to give everyone bad news all the time. And towards the last couple of months, I just couldn't hold it in anymore. And people would call me and I'd say, well, you know what, this is what's going on, and I was sort of a giver of bad energy instead of good energy. And it was not me. And I'm trying to, come out of that. But anyway, point being is, I don't even know where I was going with that, but I think somebody made a comment here and it put me on that. So yeah, it's been hard for me, and I'm recovering. I would say I'm heading in the right direction, but it's really, up, down, up, down. It's not just where I'm consistently getting better every day. I have a lot of backwards movement too that happens sometimes. So wearing my everyday barbecue shirt. Awesome, man. I appreciate it. I really appreciate your support for that. Ted, there is not a picture on the website, but I did post one on the Everyday Barbecue Facebook page. I did post a picture of me, my dad, and my son that was taken a couple years ago when he was still healthy. It was more than a couple years ago. It was probably, I don't know, my son's going to be 13 tomorrow. So this had to be, I'd say 5-6 years ago, something like that. Wow, man, Mel, that's rough, man. I know time helps a lot, but I just think there's certain things that that'll never heal, you know. But I just hope it gets better, which I'm sure it will. I mean, I'm being positive about it. It's hard. It's like I said, it's been a culmination of things for me. It's not just one thing. Like it's been, and I don't want to recap it again, but there's just been a lot, especially in the last year, between business, finances, losing, 3 loved ones, and the last one being my father, who is my very foundation in life. Just hard stuff, man. And Frederick says it's 17:07 there right now, so it's dinner time for you. Well, still got some time here. If anybody has anything else they want to talk about or ask, any recommendations for recipes or videos or anything, I can't promise you that I'll do it, but if you give me some ideas, I don't have many right now, I'll be honest. I just don't. I mean, I do, but I don't. I have a list here of stuff, but the way it works for me is it's all about inspiration. I can write down recipes or ideas, but then if I'm just not feeling it, I won't do it. And I may take something that I wrote down, 6 months ago, like, yeah, I'm going to do that today or tomorrow. And then there's something that pops in my head and I have to do right away, while there's been other things waiting. And so it's not, I don't do it in order. I just do it in terms of how I'm inspired. Lamb chops I'm going to be doing for S&S Grills. That'll be coming up. As a matter of fact, I did a test cook 2 weeks ago, and they were wonderful. They were absolutely wonderful. I did a reverse sear, cold grate technique, and my daughter loved those lamb chops. I bought them at Costco, and I think there was like 2 left for me to send next door to Kevin. The rest my daughter ate. I had 1. My daughter ate like 4. Or 5, or maybe I had 2 and she had 4. I don't know, but there was like hardly anything left for me to send next door by Kevin. And Kevin, by the way, who my neighbor, I don't know if he's still here, but he said he wasn't a lamb chops guy, but he would try it. You know, he's not really a lamb guy, and he loved it. It tasted just like ribeye. Honestly, it was a little different, but it was, as far as texture and flavor, it was just outstanding. So I'm looking forward to doing that video. Maybe in a couple weeks. I'm not going to be there. Those videos require me to think a lot and to really have my, pay attention to what's going on. And I don't think I'll be there mentally this coming week, but maybe the one after. So we'll see. Pork roast, sure thing, Uncle Bill. I could do that. It's something I haven't done yet on the channel, really. But I think it's something I could do. And Kevin is chiming in right now, coming from somebody who doesn't like lamb. Those were incredible, and I don't take credit for it, really. It was the recipe, I think, and the cooker more than anything, and the technique. So I just followed steps, like putting together, some cheap furniture that you buy at IKEA or something like that. All I did was follow steps. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate it, man. Hey, Goody, how are you? Let me see here. Mel, okay, so Mel's in Florida doing New York strip today. Hungry Hussy did lobster. I haven't done any lobster, man. I have not done any lobster. Jeff, thank you. Melon, there's a whole bunch of stuff you wrote there. I'll read it here. And Jeff, I appreciate it. I mean, that's really a big reason why I do what I do, is the inspiration part of it. I was inspired, and then I like when, if there's anything I do that inspires others, it's nice. Regional dishes. Okay, yeah. Well, I do some of those frequently here, from our area. And there's a whole lot more I want to do. As a matter of fact, I did a deep dish pizza a couple winters ago with my wife's uncle, and it's hold on a second, guys. I think I have a spammer amongst us. There we go. All right. There we go. I don't get many of those, but I do get them. Goody, how you doing, man? And thank you. Yeah, El Yucateco is really good stuff. I don't know if I ever told you. Well, I'm sure I've told you guys the story on a live before, but I'll tell you again how I got introduced to it. Was when my wife was pregnant with our first child, my oldest daughter. This is going back, 20 years. And we had just moved out to this area at the time. And we had, how it goes, doctor visits, right? It's every 3 months at first, and then it's every month, and then it's every week, and then a couple times in the last week. And there was a restaurant right by the doctor's office that my wife and I love Mexican food. That's if we can go anywhere we want. It's to go get Mexican food 100% of the time. It's just what we love. And there was a really good, authentic restaurant right there by the doctor's office. So we would stop there, and they had El Yucateco on the table. They always had the red and the cream. And I tried it, and I was just like, wow, where has this stuff been my whole life, which at the time was, I mean, you're going, like I said, you're going back 20 years, and we'd had a lot of Mexican food, and I'd never seen the sauce before. So I fell in love with it and bought it ever since, bought it at the store. I saw it at Walmart or somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it was Meijer. but you know, wherever we were, if we when we needed it, we bought it, and we always had it here at home. So it was just really weird because it was my favorite hot sauce, especially for Hispanic recipes. And then when I started this YouTube venture, I met them on Instagram actually. And I think they reached out to me initially to do like an Instagram promotion. And that relationship just turned into what it is today, which is me pretty much for the most part running their YouTube channel. And I love their products. They're really good people. They're really, really good people. I mean, I'm I've always thought of myself as a pretty good judge of character and people. I've missed on a few, like everybody, but these are some wonderful, wonderful people. So, you know, to be able to work, you know, and to help take care of my household here and my family for a company whose products I love and people who are just outstanding and treat me wonderfully. I mean, it's a dream come true. So I'm very, very proud of that relationship. And yeah, so there's that story. And I love the sauce. The green is my favorite. They have, you know, 7 different sauces, but the green is my favorite. But they have a black label reserve, which is a like a roasted habanero base, and it's got a nice smoky flavor. So you can add that to recipes indoors, and you know, add smoke flavor and a little bit of heat. It's just a couple drops is all that you need, and the stuff's very affordable too, like $2 a bottle. I mean, I just love it. Huge Uncle Don fan. A lot of people are. You know, that video, that Chicago style pizza video, the deep dish that he did with me, it's gotten a couple 100,000 views. I don't know exactly. I haven't checked it in a while, but he's actually been spotted by people that have seen the video in other places. He was on vacation in Arizona, and he told me that the waiter at the restaurant that they were at said, "Hey, are you Uncle Don?" You know, and Uncle Don's really a funny guy. Like, he never wants anyone to know who he is or recognize him. So he's like, "No, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about." But he's been asked like a few times, you know, about it. So it's really weird. I mean, just how far we can stretch and reach to for people to see us, you know, on YouTube, whether it's me, him, or anybody else, and to see that there's somebody here in South Africa here in the chat. I mean, it's really amazing stuff. Hold on, I'm getting a text here. I'll just read that in a second. So what else, guys? Anybody else have anything? I got a couple more minutes if you want to talk about anything or mention anything. Again, this was therapeutic for me. I needed to do it. First few minutes were tough to get through, but I appreciate everybody being here and supporting me, and all the messages and comments and stuff that I've gotten on, you know, the other social media platforms. It really does help a lot. You know, it's been a rough go, and I'm hoping it's onward and upward from here, but it will take time. So anything else at all? I'm going to see if I missed anything here. And do I have the chat set up correctly? I do. And last comment I see is from Uncle Don fan. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I think I'm caught up. And we still got 26 people here. I'm gonna call it here, I think, guys. I'm at 59 minutes right now to the second, and I appreciate everybody, you know, everybody being here. And Joe, thank you. I really do appreciate that, man. I'll be putting up some content really soon. I promise that. It's just gonna take me a little bit, but I will, and I'll try to be consistent as much as possible. Stew's in the crock pot. Yeah, good words, Dustin. Very good words, Dave. Thank you for being here. And crock pot recipe sounds good for today, man. It's cold out there. And it didn't snow last night, so I don't have to shovel. So I don't even have to go outside today, which is really, really nice. I'm gonna light a fire and spend time with my family and just continue to heal. That's my plan. So thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. And yeah, that's that. I'll leave this video up for a little while, and then I'll probably end up taking it down so it doesn't destroy my already bad analytics because of my absence here with content. So with all that said, thank you everybody. I hope that you have a good Sunday, and I'll talk to you all very soon.